All right, welcome back. Told you we're loaded with wrestling reacts. Just got off the air with Evolution. What an unbelievable card. I got 5 things I like from Evolution. Actually, I have more, but time only allows us to get into 5. We got one thing I disliked from the show. And let's just jump right in. What a show, a lot to react to. And I said before, if you people were like, "Oh, Evolution, why is this against the Beyonce concert? Why this? Why that?" I'm like, if you're invested in the stories, the wrestling's going to come through. You will enjoy Evolution. In fact, it might be your favorite wrestling show of the entire weekend. It just might. And you don't have to be all like, "Oh, because it's the first women's pay per view." It's the real deal. Hot storylines matter. So let's get into it. We'll talk Naomi in just a moment, but my top thing, Rhea Ripley, Iyo Sky, it's a match of the year candidate for WWE. And in women's wrestling, a match of the year candidate. Um, the storytelling, going right into the match. And I tell you, every video, every show that we talk wrestling, we talk storytelling. And we talk storytelling for a reason. When I am invested in the characters, when I'm invested in the story, when I'm invested in the journey, the match is like the bonus. It's the reward. It's boom, this is how we're going to resolve conflict. An amazing, amazing match where truly, I felt the beginning, all right, it's kind of obvious. They're pounding in this whole Rhea Ripley's never defeated Iyo Sky storyline. So, Io's going to try hard, but it ends here. Rhea Ripley's going to win the championship. And of course, so many close falls, so many phenomenal moves. And of course, all blank went to hell when Jessica Cardi, referee, was knocked out of the match. They take it into the crowd. It's like, why not? Why not take it into the crowd? Now, again, logically, you could say, well, maybe you should have got a ref down there a little bit sooner. But whatever. Championship match. It was entertaining. Into the crowd with Iyo. Just going back and forth. Rhea taking out her frustration. Iyo taking out her frustrations. Then getting back to the ring. And then, the move from up top. Both women are knocked out. And then that sets up Naomi. But Rhea and Iyo delivered an in-ring classic. I thought they did an unbelievable job in the ring. And it brings us to Naomi, the new women's champion. We will spend time on the show talking about her journey, talking about what has led to this point. But you want to talk about potential professional wrestler of the year. Somebody who has been on 100 her entire championship run. It's been Naomi. And she had an unbelievable, the no holds bar match was fantastic with Jade Cargill. That was just a great match. Jade coming up to win. What I liked too with the cash in. Let me tell you what I liked. I like that she was still selling the effects of the previous match, so the no holds barred. She's still selling the fact that she's hurt from the no holds barred. She's still selling the fact she's in pain, but with the understanding that this opportunity can't effing pass anymore. She's got to get hers, and the moment arrived right here. And I like the little added detail that because she inserted herself into a championship match and it became a triple threat matches, there are no disqualifications. So the briefcase shot made sense. Of course, the throw to the turnbuckle, getting Rhea's shoulder, getting her out, and then the pinfall on Iyo. Craziness. I don't know. We can project all day what's next with Naomi. But, excuse me, with her winning the Raw Championship, that puts an end, for now, to Naomi and Jay Cargill for good. We talked yesterday, or it was the Smack. We just done so many reaction shows, SmackDown, whatever. Raw needed women who are heels. They were severely lacking in major heels in the Raw women's division, with Liv being gone. Naomi fills that void. Naomi draws money in front of the camera and on social media. She draws heat. This is good stuff. It's good stuff. I don't know if you go to the triple threat next. I don't know. Hey, maybe you run back Rhea and Iyo on Raw for number one contendership. Do it that way. And, of course, also you got looming Stephanie Vicaire, who won the Battle Royal. Maybe you do something there. But Naomi, incredible. And all of them and everyone on the show had the support of this unbelievable crowd. Atlanta really showed out. Atlanta has emerged as one of my favorite wrestling crowds. It's a sports entertainment crowd. You know, a lot of crowd, or not a lot of crowds, but there are some crowds who will jump at the neck of baby faces and heels. This crowd right here, they understand, and they were invested in every story. They were locked into Evolution. If you're talking about a show that was best presented on television in terms of crowd engagement, I know AEW All In had the biggest crowd. But in terms of crowd engagement, Evolution hit all the marks that you needed to hit. No pun intended. Hit everything. This Atlanta crowd, they know their wrestling. They know their stuff. Just absolutely incredible. And they were rewarded with a great, great show. One other thing I liked. The opening match. Becky Lynch, Bayley, Lyra, Vicaria. And how about that creative finish at the end? How about the whole premise of this feud is to put over Lyra even if she doesn't win, right? So, ultimately, who took the pinfall? Bayley. What does Bayley lose out of taking the pinfall? Absolutely nothing. Man. Again, a great match, rewarded by a great storyline, and probably one of the strongest storylines coming into this entire weekend of wrestling. And those three women, Becky, Bayley, and Lyra, deliver. Now, I do expect, I know it's 3 weeks. I don't think this particular rematch is run back. I do think there'll be a new opponent, a new challenger for Becky for the Intercontinental title. I think you split off Bayley and Lyra at this point. I think there's a lot more layers to be peeled between those two women. And then, with Becky, let's see what happens. I can't think of an opponent right now, but she'll be on the card. It's a 2-night SummerSlam, so I would like to see Bayley and Lyra. And then I would like to see Becky and, you know what? Run it with Trish. Trish didn't look too bad. Have Becky go out there disrespect Trish Stratus. I would kind of like that. I do have one other thing that I liked. Again, this is going to be full of likes. There's only one dislike in this video. In case you were confused, Blake Monroe turned heel tonight. Blake Monroe turned heel. That's going to be a money feud. Her and Jordynne Grace, that's going to be a money feud. There was no disputing. There was no, it was a counter in the center of the ring. Blake clearly knew who she was striking, and she struck. So that's going to be something big. The only thing I didn't like today, and look, it ain't the end of the world. Everybody needs to stop tripping. Everybody's like, oh, shut up. Stop it. But Michael Cole had a bad night. It happens. Everybody has a bad night at work. It happens. I do believe Michael Cole is, he'll say yes to, he's going to be a company man. I think they overwork him a little bit. Think about this. He's doing, the Saturday Night's Main Event play-by-play. He's not only doing the play-by-play for Evolution, but then he's also on the pre-show. And I know that this is every show, but go back to WrestleMania. He's doing, obviously, the behind-the-scenes press and all the social media press and all that stuff. He's doing the kickoff show the night before. Then he's doing the countdown show, like the first 2 hours of the countdown show of both nights of WrestleMania. Then doing the play-by-play for WrestleMania both nights. It's a lot. So I know it's not his job. It is his job, but I kind of understand if he's not 100% up to speed with the nuances of NXT storylines. With that being said, if you're going to have an NXT championship match, I would have liked to have seen Vic Joseph call that match. Maybe you keep Wade Barrett. Maybe you have Corey Graves in there. But I would have liked to have seen, if you're going to have an NXT championship match, the play-by-play voice of NXT should be calling that match. And I think Vic Joseph would have been necessary in this case. But overall, the last thing wrestling fans won this weekend. I can't recall a weekend over the last, really generation, where you had two companies put up their A game to steal the spotlight and be the talk of the town on Monday morning. It's a win for wrestling fans. It's a win. You know what? I don't think it would be a bad idea. I don't think it would be a bad idea for AEW to run a wrestling show on the same day as WrestleMania. Maybe not compete head-to-head with WrestleMania. That's not a good idea. Put on a show in the afternoon. I think it'd be a bad idea. Well, we still got to do Great American Bash. Still got to watch it. So, we'll see if we can watch it tomorrow. If we do, maybe you'll get a reaction video. If not, you won't get it. So, we move on to Raw tomorrow night. Gauntlet match. We're going to hear about what happened with Seth Rollins, the future there. But we'll react to the Gauntlet match that was announced. The winner will face Gunther for the World Championship at SummerSlam. So we got all that coming up. And I hope you enjoyed this entire week of wrestling. Remember, follow us, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Like and subscribe. You get every React video. I think Kyle's going to do an overall reaction video for the weekend. You get that. Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, pay-per-views or PLEs, whatever you call it. You get those. And every Friday morning, you get the latest episode of the full podcast, the full show, where we fully dive into storylines, the ramifications. I'm sure we'll talk Naomi. I'm sure we'll talk in full Seth Rollins. I'm sure we'll talk in full AEW All In, what happened there, and the fallout. There's a lot of things that you get into on the full shows where we scratch the surface here on the React. So, great weekend. I'm going to wrap it up here. Again, thank you for supporting our channel. It really means a lot. Thank you for not making fun of me because I had a razor bump yesterday. So I had to go Nelly style on the Band-Aid. And remember, W Energy drink. W Energy. Get whatever great flavors you can. There it is right there. Get the sample pack. W.GG is where you can order. Type in the promo code SHWP10. Get 10% off.